I forgot how good the game looks without the textures I use, bro. Wait. I just took off my texture pack because I was like, I want to be able to show everything in this update in its full glory, and it just pops. And I was like, oh yeah, the game actually looks good. Look at that logo though. That is a beautiful looking logo. I love that logo. Everything looking good. Got all the Halloween stuff going. I love it. I love it. I love it. Not to mention, bro, look how many people are playing, dude. There's like a good 750. I think last night somebody was taking a screenshot and literally side by side there was more people on Corporate Clash than there was on TTR, which was kind of funny to see. Like obviously it was like close to the middle of the night and Corporate Clash dropping an update. It makes sense they had a lot of people, but the fact that they had more, it's still crazy. You know what I'm saying? But what's up, guys? This is your pal Mega Snoop. I've got a lot to talk about. And can I just say, first and foremost, the fact that they didn't do anything for 3 months, I think is completely understandable for the fact of why they weren't doing anything for 3 months. Like, they were quiet for 3 months and then dropped a buttload of stuff on us. And I was like, man, that's actually fantastic. So first thing you can see, obviously, is, look, I can play the, I just received 72 jelly beans just for chilling here. You can play the race game alone. That's kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, look at me go, I'm so good. That's not even the first thing I wanted to talk about, but yo, let's get into it. Bro, so this update is like huge. 120 cog bucks. Wait, that's hilarious. But there's definitely a lot to look at here in the 1.2.5 update. A lot, so I should stop talking about it and just get to it. You can already see I'm getting Batcoin. I'm getting that Batcoin, the cryptocurrency. So anyway, let me start with what we actually have to talk about here. So first and foremost, the first thing on the list is Counterclaim is back. With Counterclaim, it's a cool little mini boss that you can do down Polar Place. And I also want to shout out really quick the fact that not only is Counterclaim back, but I have heard word that the SADS fight is back too. I might have to look into that to be able to tell you more confirmed, like where and when you can do that. But if that is, I'm going to try to do that on stream as soon as I can. I'm surprised I've remembered any of this while talking to you guys. So, but yeah, you can play the match game by yourself now. And it goes for a lot longer. And I've already messed up. I can't remember that long. I'm trying to talk here. So Counterclaim, SADS fights, I'm definitely going to be doing those at some point. Trick-or-treating is back, so you can go around and earn a new little, like, fun cheesy effect. I don't know what the cheesy effect is off the top of my head, but I heard that it is one that was voted on by the community. So it's supposed to be one that's like more highly requested. There's a picture flying around, and if I find it, I'll put it on the screen, of all the trick-or-treating riddles and hints. And I know people have already figured it out. It wasn't too hard to figure out. And there's even a cheat sheet somewhere, so like maybe I'll make a separate video on that. I know Shoutout Stuck the Duck. I think he's made like a separate video on every little thing that he's already found in the new update, where he's all like reacting to Tuno, reacting to Counterclaim. Mans is doing YouTube right, I'm telling you. And then the next thing after that says Alphabet. And Alphabet is the person that you can talk to in the Berg. And I can show you that real quick here. So if you go to the Berg and there's already 100 other people in the Berg at the same time, there's this person right here you talk to about the Battle Pass. You can see how many Batcoins you have and how much you have until the next prize, and then all the how to play, what's this, and the rewards. Though I've heard the rewards button is broken. It's supposed to show you what rewards you can see, and it just doesn't lead to anything. Unless, of course, that's just the tab to bring you back here. I think that's just the tab to bring you back here. I don't know if that's like super obvious or not. I would love to see like the progression through the battle pass, like how every other game does their battle pass, but you know what, I'm not too complaining about it, you know. So that's Hexadecimal in the Berg right there. Alphabet is the one selling Halloween items in the Berg playground. Yeah, so Hexadecimal is the one with the battle pass. Right next to it you have Alphabet, where you can trade these materials that I apparently still have some left over from a couple years ago for different things, like some little boosts for gag and trolley experience, but a lot of different accessories and whatnot that you can go through. And these are some pretty cool looking accessories. Some of these are new for this year. I think there was like, somebody pointed out to me some Invader Zim accessories. There's the black pants. That's what I want. That's what I need right there. I need those black pants. Give me those black pants. If you're wondering how to get the black pants, that's how you get the black pants. But all your regular Halloween outfits and stuff that you would normally get from the catalog, you can now get here from earning different things from fighting Counterclaim a few times, right? Yeah, there's like an Invader Zim looking, oh, I kind of want that. That looks so good. I want it. Needless to say, I will have many reasons to be playing this game as soon as my subathon starts on Sunday. 35 of every material, I don't even know what that is. And I'm just gonna try to go through some of the little things that they've added because there's just so many. So they added like a battle music listener where depending on what cog is in the fight, it could play a different song, which is kinda neat. The options page got an overhaul to tell you exactly what each option does and what it's for, to give you a better understanding of what you're clicking on. And of course, the really big one that I think a lot of people were talking about is the fact that they completely took out genders in this game. And so now any toon can wear any clothing item that they want. Which is a cool little update for the fact that, you know, there's some people that it affects more greatly than others. But what really makes that cool is just all of the hard work that goes into uprooting all of that code in the first place. They also did a quick, like, retexture of some of the toons and the toon clothes to kind of give them a more HD feel, rounding out some of those polygons. And then there's no longer a wardrobe section in your sticker book. It's now more of a grid layout. So instead of like going left and right to choose your shirt, you can just choose from a grid, which I've always been a big fan of. And like, yes, do that, more of that. I love that. And then apparently you can also do live searching, which will update the results as you type. So that's kind of cool, actually. With even like a randomize button where you can just shuffle everything that you have on just by clicking random. But then also you can undo and redo in case like you click something you didn't mean to click. For picnic games, they added checkers, chess, and Uno, and although they don't have their own little leveling system like all the other activities, they do still count towards the battle pass, so you can still have fun and play them there and still feel like you're accomplishing something. If not, it's a good like little break away from everything where you're like, ah, let's just go play some Uno, you know? So I'm gonna be playing that, that's for sure. Roadster Raceway got a little bit of an overhaul. Like, they changed racing. Maybe not fundamentally how you turn, which I think is one of the most annoying parts, right? You need courses that work well with your ability to turn, and the courses still aren't really good for that, but I digress. They did try to do things to make it more tolerable, such as removing the anvil, which is a great start because the anvil sucks. And then adding new items such as the lightning, the quicksand, the TNT, the cream pie slice, which does a little bit different than what it used to. The pixie dust, which allows you to be like invincible and move a little bit faster for a brief period of time. Instead of an anvil, they have like a blue shell type of thing called cog teeth. And it goes up and it hits them and it explodes on contact, so whoever's in first place. And the items you receive depend on your placement, and of course there's like 8 people who can play now, so that's 8 different placements. Just wanted to see real quick my items and codes, so ooh, oh, that looks so much better. Shoes, oh, that's a lot better. Yes, oh, thank you. A few glasses as well, dude. This is so much better. And you can make little outfits, add outfit. Hey, there you go, look at that. They also revamped the trophies for racing, I think. I don't even know what they all are. I'm just gonna take their word for it. But apparently some of these were unobtainable before, but now you can obtain them. And anything that you can do to customize your cart is now by jelly beans and not by race tickets. And any race tickets you had were converted to jelly beans. And so it opens up your willingness to actually race because you don't have to do those first few races to actually upgrade your cart or anything. You could just play the game, get a bunch of jelly beans, walk right into it, and get a really cool cart and accessories. I think that's a great update. I have 28,000 to spend. Don't tempt me, man. Don't tempt me. 10,000 jelly beans for black? Ugh. Maybe another time. And I'll save the rest for when I'm actually streaming, so. There's a lot more little things to read about racing, so if you're interested, you can go check that out. Trolley tracks has been removed, thank God, finally. Bro, I don't know how long I've been petitioning to get rid of trolley tracks. I don't like trolley tracks. I know very few people who do, and then I forget it exists, and then I run onto the trolley and somebody else runs onto me, and suddenly it's trolley tracks, and I just alt F4 in my game. And you think that wouldn't happen so often, but apparently it happens so often. So for no longer trolley tracks, they have Tactical Thursday, which allows you to gain extra bonus XP for doing your department XP. So if you're doing like Lawbot, Sellbot, Bossbot, Cashbot, and you're doing those bosses and you have that extra level at the bottom that helps you do stuff like, you know, earn bonus rewards or give you that last training point, you can earn those levels faster. But with that, they have changed so many trolley games, and I would say absolutely for the better. So the race game you can now finally play alone. The cannon game has a new interesting timer where if one person finishes, it doesn't just end the game. It adds a 20-second timer for everybody else to finish. And if they finish within that time, they get max jelly beans. And if they don't finish within that time, they only get half the jelly beans. So there's still pressure for you to try to finish the cannon game, even if somebody else gets it first. And that way everyone can still play, even if somebody just knocks it in right away. For the tag game, each treasure you pick up is worth more initially, but the rewards decrease as you gather more. Match Mini can be played in single player and has more rounds. Maze Game has more tokens worth 5 times the original value. In Toon Slingshot, apparently you get a streak bonus for landing multiple shots. It appears nothing has been done to the Vine game, but also it's the Vine game, and I don't think anyone cared too much about the Vine game. Catching Game got some improved graphics. They made the friction on the ice game a little bit better, so you're not spending 10 years sliding around. Ooh! Barely got it. And for Cog Thief, you now obtain a Jelly Bean bonus based on how many barrels you keep alive, which I thought they did, but I guess you get an even bigger bonus. Going to the CEO, there are some like nerfs now to the CEO fight. So for instance, the conveyor belts no longer completely shut off. They just slow down as the fight goes on. As well as each of the different foods that you get now give you more laugh than they did before. About 3 times as much, actually. But with that, they also made it a little bit more difficult by making the CEO more likely to target golfers than he was before. So you can't just sit on golf and feel safe. Not to mention the fact that they changed the way that him slowing down and being stunned works. So he can still be stunned, and there's a higher chance of him being stunned, I suppose. However, what we used to do is we used to slow him down all the way and then try to stun lock him. The only way he would ease up from being slow is if he hit tunes. So if you could keep yourself from getting hit and get him to a slow point where he could barely move, you could essentially just keep stun locking him over and over again, and the fight would be over like that. You can't do that anymore because of the fact that hitting a tune is no longer what makes him speed up. Being stunned is what causes him to speed up, as well as just slowly speeding up as the fight goes on. So every time he hits like his new like time to reorganize, he speeds up a little bit again. So you can no longer do that stun locking. There's a lot of other little updates for that too. One of the nice ones I think is that the game decides who it's attacking whenever an attack is made. And so now if you get hit by an attack that wasn't intended for you, you only take 25% of the damage. And that's a good way to kind of combat greening in the CEO, because that was really, really easy to do. And a lot of people were dying in the CEO, but maybe they should just get better at the game. I don't know. Next, there's some gag balances, which I thought was interesting. Trap has been reworked from like the ground up. So now Trap will automatically have a bonus against all executive cogs. So it has like, hey, it's a good thing to use against executives specifically, because executives are just kind of more difficult and more powerful. But then they also changed how the prestige works, where it no longer is 3 times the cog level. The prestige now gains a 20% buff if the cog you're attacking has 50% or more health, which I think is interesting. Trap definitely won't do as much damage as it did before, but to compensate for that, they have also upped the amount that each gag does specifically. And you can actually see, when I hover over it, you can see all the different damages. So I think this one's probably a better representation. There you go. So with the Wrecking Ball, you can see like how much damage it's doing. So the first number is regular, the second number is EXE, first number is regular if they have like full health, and the second number is full health against an EXE. So that's what those numbers represent. Throw got reworked as well, where throw just does more damage. They're trying to keep up and make throw more viable, so they're making throw more powerful. But now it has a debuff for prestige instead of just doing more damage, which I thought that was interesting. So the squirt debuff makes it where if you hit a cog with squirt, it's less likely to dodge. That's its debuff. You can hit a cog with squirt first and then like use drop after to like give better chances for drop to hit. What throw has is it has a marked for a laugh, is what they call it. Where if you hit it with 1 throw that's prestige, it's an 8% debuff, and if you hit it with like 3 throws, it's a 20% debuff. And what it does is it's a damage vulnerability. If I'm reading that right, if I hit a cog with a throw that is prestige, it is now susceptible to more damage. So if I hit it again, it takes even more damage. So I thought that was an interesting change and an interesting buff. And then they nerf drop again by making it where the combo damage is lesser. It used to be 30, 40, 50%. Now it's 20, 30, 40. But I mean, it's still good and it's still worth using when you're trying to do those really big fights. Additionally, prestige drop's accuracy has been boosted to 15%, but only applies when a single drop gag is used. So you can't just like send 4 drops on a cog when it's prestiged and be like, oh, I know it's gonna hit. In addition to now, there is probably 100 different community suggestions that has been added. So you now have the ability to see the zap jumps while you're in fight. So you can click on a zap gag, click on the cog you're gonna fight, and it'll tell you how much damage it's gonna do, where it's gonna jump to, and how much damage it's gonna do for each jump. That's one of the more larger updates that I think really has a big impact. Again, there's a good handful. You should check out all of them. But there are other things that I wanted to point out which I thought were really good changes. So one of the biggest changes I want to point out right now, which I think this is a really good point, and I think everybody should hear this. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about this, is the fact that Gag XP in a cog building now uses the highest floor for its multiplier rather than the floor you're currently on. Which means a 1-story building will have a 2 times multiplier. A 2-story building will have a 3 times multiplier all the way through, and a 6-story building will have a 7 times multiplier from the moment you get on the first floor till you fight the last cog, which makes it a lot better for training. Man, what a good change, honestly. This can revolutionize how people are able to train their gags, because not everybody can run through a bullionment, but you can find low-level buildings everywhere, and just doing a 3-story or 4-story gives you that 4 or 5 times experience, which is going to be very helpful. You no longer have to save your highest gags for the top floor to make sure you're maximizing the experience. Just use whatever on whatever floor and know you're getting that multiplier. Great change. Golf now rewards tunes with jelly beans. I thought that was nice. I thought that was something that was interesting, that it's like the only activity that doesn't. And then a good handful of bug fixes as well. Thrown out there, I already have heard a few bugs in this update. I'm sure the team is well aware of them. In addition to that, I do know that one of the things that is people's biggest gripes and complaints is that they are like capping out how much of the battle pass you can do per day. And it's one thing where you don't want people to rush through it. Like, if you want to make it where certain rewards are locked until a certain date, that makes more sense in my mind than capping how much battle pass experience you can earn, right? Capping out rewards rather than capping out like, oh, you've already done too much, we're not going to give you any more bat tokens or anything. But that wouldn't be a big issue if it wasn't for the fact that it's literally like 500. Like, you can get 500 in like less than an hour. I think people said just by doing the trick-or-treating, it's been 500, and they're like, okay, well now I just feel like there's no reason for me to do anything for the rest of the day. So maybe raising that cap would be nice, or allowing there to be no cap, but then just be like, okay, well, these rewards are locked until a certain date, so play until you get these rewards, and then when the next week happens, there's more rewards. You know, do something like that, I think would be fine. I think other than that, that's everything I wanted to go over, but this did kind of make for a long video, so I appreciate your guys' patience watching through the whole video. Let me know what your guys' like favorite part of the update is. Be sure to check out all the notes. I'll leave a link in the description, and I cannot wait to get into all of this when I'm doing my stream tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay awesome, God bless, and peace.